Parasyte the Maxim, episode 20, Crime and Punishment. Now, I said last week that something's going to happen in this episode where things are going to go crazy. That was my big question. I was like, how are things going to get screwed up here? And of course, that's exactly what happens. They get messed up. I like the way that they did it, and I was very surprised that all of the normal human deaths actually came from other humans. Like, the only deaths that came of humans in this episode that were innocent, at least innocent civilian deaths that happened by parasites, really were, it was like one death, and it was the one parasite that specifically used a human as a human shield. And then even in that circumstance, technically the only reason that person died was because the people were just shooting those shotgun shells at him, to take the parasite down. So we had the very first guy that died, which Origami didn't help, because he's like, oh, they're all lined up, 1, 2, and then the third guy, who shouldn't have taken off if he wasn't a parasite, which I guess he wouldn't have if he was, but he takes off, and so of course he gets shot in the back, and it's like, oh, no, he wasn't one of them. But he could have said that before he went from like here to way over there getting shot in the back, and he's like, oh, that wasn't one of them. And then I was a little suspicious, because after that happened and he told the one soldier like to shoot the guy that was right in front of him, I was like, I'm not 100% sure he's actually trying to help kill parasites, or if he just wants to see a bunch of dead people, because he's a serial killer. So I was like, I'm not 100% sure. But then they kind of quickly answer that question, because the parasite reveals itself after doing the fake freak out, and it kills the soldier, and they reveal themselves. But things just went to hell from there, because once that happened and they actually shot that parasite, a couple of the little pellets, hit the machine, completely destroyed it. And then it's just mass chaos after that. It's everybody getting shot, parasites getting killed off, humans getting killed off. We have the mayor, I think it's like Hirokawa or something like that. I don't know what his thing was. He was just walking around like it was nothing. Like, the end of the episode, they go into that room and he's just like, hey. I'm like, what is he doing? He's just like, he talks to the other guy with the multi-parasite. He's like, I guess there's really no point in running it, anymore. And it's like, okay, what is he doing? He's not fighting. He's just walking around like, whatever. Like, it's not, like, nothing's happening. He's just walking around like it doesn't matter anymore. So I don't know exactly what he plans on doing, but we get to see a pretty interesting fight at the end of this episode where, once again, stupid stuff happened, because the soldiers are like, holy crap, like, Origami takes off running, and he freaks out. They even say it in the dialogue. Like, I basically am watching the series subbed at this point. So, in the dialogue, at least for the sub, it's like, this guy looks the part of a parasite, and then Origami freaks out, and he takes off, and then he's like, the guy just says something totally random, like, hey, let's go somewhere else where we'll have more room. That means he's a parasite, and they're just like, alright, sure. And I'm just like, what? That makes no sense whatsoever. It's like, the guy even said, like, oh, he looks the part of a parasite. And then it should have said a lot when Origami freaked out and took off. Like, the one guy thought he just ran because that was his plan the whole time. But if he freaked out, I would have been like, okay, we should probably shoot this dude. And it was just crazy. It was like, I don't understand what the heck is going on right now. Like, why did they do that? Of course, they got themselves killed. In a pretty awesome way, to be totally honest, because with all the pellets and stuff, and he just like released them all basically at the same velocity as they were shot at him. That was very cool. And based on what happened, because he got shot up complete, like his face was blown up, he had pellets all up in his hands, he had holes all over the place. I think what happened is that he can make it where the parasites fuse into like the chest or something, or at least part of them goes and covers the actual internal organs, and that keeps the bullets from passing through them. Because we've seen that happen before, where they get shot and nothing happens, the bullets just stop, and then they basically just bounce right back out. If they choose to have them do that, that's what'll happen. So I think what they did was guard the heart and stuff, because the center is still human. Like, the head is parasite, arms, legs, parasite, but basically every weak point on their body is still completely a human weak point. So every single organ that's in there is still there. It's still all human organs and stuff. So I feel like that had to be the case, because they definitely shot him up. I was curious, like, okay, well, with him being 5'1", he could probably run around so fast they'd only hit him like in the arms and legs and stuff like that. But they shoot him and he's standing basically still. He does have one arm up, so I don't know if that was meant to like maybe they couldn't move 100%, so it was like to block like the little bit where he moved all the organs in like one spot or something to kind of block it with his hand. But other than that, completely shot up. He was like just completely shot up, and then he just bounced all the bullets back. He's totally fine. And he walks out, drops his suit, and I'm assuming his plan is to just go off and kill everyone else, because he's like, I want to see how the humans fight a little bit longer. And that's basically all he's doing, is getting info and research. So I don't know if, I highly doubt it, because there would be, I don't see any reason why Shinichi and Migi would be able to do anything really. And they're actually hardly even in this episode. They're in like what, 2, maybe 3 shots total, and that's really it. Like most of this episode actually revolves around the mission itself, which I thought was pretty cool, because I'm sure Shinichi and Migi are going to end up in there. We only have 4 episodes left, by the way. We only have 24 episodes in this series. So we're, very close to the end, and I'm sure they're going to end up in there. I don't see how they could possibly defeat this thing that they couldn't defeat before, and they could barely defeat it when it was the subhead taking over. They couldn't really escape from it and, fight it too well. And then, of course, the main head takes over, and it's just chaos. He's like swinging through the trees and all that craziness. So they can't beat this guy, and I thought maybe if they wanted to do it this way, they could go in and help the team. So while the guy's getting shot up and everything, and he's at least somewhat distracted by all these, shotgun shells flying right at him, which could kill him if they actually hit internal organs. While he's distracted with that mission, Shinichi and Migi come in and, try to pierce him through the heart, or like chop him in half or something like that. But I don't know. It should be pretty insane. Like I said, only 4 episodes left, so not too much to really go through. We only have technically a month left of the show, which is pretty crazy to think, but it's very close to the end, and they're clearly building up. This is like the end. Like this is the last mission. It's not going to get rid of all parasites ever. Of course, there's only like 10 parasites in that whole building. And I know it's like the stronghold, really. That's where they all meet. But still not a ton of parasites, I don't think. But it was a crazy episode. I certainly enjoyed it, but it was just crazy because of all the innocent people that died. We had, the first guy that got killed. I think the second person got killed after they, everything kind of went crazy. And there was a parasite, and the guy shot him, and like basically he like shot a part of his stomach, and the rest of the pellets killed like some random guy in the background. So he died. That was number 2. Number 3, and once again an idiot move, just like the very first guy. If someone says everyone stay on the ground and if you stand up we'll shoot you, if it's some sort of military thing, because of course once that happens and it's like they start shooting a bunch of people, I probably wouldn't think it's like, oh, it's just the government again. I would think it's something else, maybe just something weird, I don't know. But I wouldn't get up. I certainly wouldn't be getting up if they have like crazy shotgun shells. So that was number 3. He got himself killed. Then we had, I think the 4th person was the human shield person. I believe that was the last person that died, last innocent human that died. So it was just crazy. It's like they killed off a bunch of random civilians. They did get a bunch of parasites. They do have like the little montage scene where they actually did kill a lot of parasites, and there were even some parasites that stayed like ducked down, like with their hands over their heads. There were even parasites in there that they actually found and took out. So they did a good job. They were taking out a lot of the parasites, but they also killed a couple of civilians in there. I don't know what to expect with the 5-in-1 parasite. What's going on there? Who knows with the mayor? He was just like, hey everybody. Like I said, it was really weird to me. I have no clue exactly what's going on with him. He's just like, he's almost just walking around like, I don't know. And he's just like trying to figure out what to do as time passes. But I'm excited for these next, 4 episodes. We don't have much left. And with it being as crazy as it is, I'm definitely excited to see where they take things. Like who lives, who dies, how they take out this multi-parasite. Because I'm assuming they will by the end of the series. Because he's kind of like he's the strong supervillain at this point. So it would have to be some sort of coordinated attack. I'm not too sure if Shinichi and Migi will out themselves, but I would assume that they'd have to, because I do feel like that's the only way they can beat this guy. Either that, or they like start blowing up this building or something, something crazy like that. And one of the comments I read, they mentioned like they never took advice from Shinichi when he was like, hey, we should use flamethrowers and stuff. They haven't done that yet, so maybe that is a part of the plan. I saw some spoiler thing, but of course I didn't read it because I didn't want to know what was going to happen. But maybe they have that plan, maybe they just don't have it yet, or something, I don't know. But they certainly haven't done that. And I can imagine why, because flamethrowers are pretty wild. If you use a flamethrower, it's not like a tiny little thing. Flamethrowers shoot out like a freaking flame. You have to be very far away from people to do that. And, well, considering they've killed like 4 people in this episode, I guess it wouldn't matter now if they brought in the flamethrowers and just did all that craziness. But, it was kind of interesting when I read that comment. I was like, oh yeah, I guess they didn't, they haven't so far at least taken that advice. So we'll see how all that stuff plays out. But it was still a fun episode. I certainly enjoyed it. I'm excited to see who does survive, because they only have so many people as far as like these military forces that are actually characters. So I don't know if the guy with the scar is going to live or not. We have, the leader, and he's kind of away in another truck, so I'm sure he won't actually get involved. And then we have the guy who's watching over Origami, and he doesn't even have body armor. You would think that they would at least have given him armor or something, since he had to go in there. You'd think they would have done that. And for Origami as well, like, alright, here's some extra suits to be protected. But the dude's just in there with the suit, and Origami's just in there, handcuffs, and a sweatshirt. It's like, man, you think this crazy coordinated attack, they'd be like, alright, if we're putting you in the field, we have extra suits. Like, maybe just in case type of thing, I mean, that's kind of what you do when when you have an action plan. You have backup suits and just random stuff. And I was just like, man, they just let them walk right in there with no protection whatsoever. Obviously, it didn't matter too much, but at least a little bit. I mean, and you could be an inch away from death, and if you have that armor on, that little slice won't get through and, split you in half or something, So it's just kind of interesting. They were just like, all right, we're gonna use Origami, and then they just sent them in there, no protection whatsoever. Like the only true asset that they have, outside of Shinichi, who they won't really put in danger, at least not yet. So we'll see if that changes. But like the one true asset that they're gonna utilize, it's like, all right, go ahead, sweatshirt, handcuffs. No big deal. Like, it doesn't, like, they're not firing a bunch of high velocity shotgun shells, and then you have like crazy monsters that whip things in half at super speed. It's like, whatever, go ahead. And the other guy's just in a suit, like, he doesn't matter either. So I did think that was pretty weird. But I'm looking forward to this next episode for sure. Definitely want to know what you guys thought about this episode, so please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts. And I definitely want to know how you guys think this is going to play out. We still, of course, have 4 episodes left to see that. But as of now, how do you guys think this is going to play out? Like, who's going to live? Who's going to die? How are they going to die? Because I'm assuming, I think the mayor might just naturally get killed off, unless they're holding a secret where maybe the mayor also has multiple parasites in his body as well. And that might explain it, but they don't exactly feel fear, but they do have, the necessity to survive. And they could just take off. Like, if they wanted, like the guy even said, like, if you wanted to, you could probably fight your way out of here, or at least take off. I mean, they went to the other floors. They could just go to the top floor, pop a window open, and they could just launch across the city almost. Like, just leap 3 blocks, and you're fine. Like, they would not take any damage from anything like that. So I don't know. Like, I don't know if they're holding like another little surprise where we'll have 2 like 5-in-1 parasites that are super powerful or what. But there's got to be something there, unless he's changing, like Reiko was, and he's, I don't know, feeling weird or something. I really don't understand what's happening with him, because he's so nonchalant about the whole situation. Even though clearly in the beginning it was like, we really need to survive and we got to get the heck out of here, and let's do the plan where it's women and children first and stuff like that. And now it's just like, I don't know. And he's just walking around like doing nothing. So I'm not really sure what to expect. Definitely want to know what you guys think is going to happen as far as how it's going to play out. Of course, what you guys think about this episode in general. I don't know if you guys could hear that the whole review, but stupid water's dripping because it's been raining all day. So I've been trying to talk over that because it's just I can hear it, so I'm sure the camera's picking it up like crazy. But I definitely want to know what you guys thought about this episode. So please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.